they know, they understand the word no, or they understand the word sit. And I try to instill the values and everything in my kids that I didn't have when I was young.
Right. How old are they? Garrett?
Garrett.
Spud, you call him Spud? Nicholas?
Spud is
Nicholas and Morgan.
4. Nicholas, who is a reincarnation of me all over, he's terrible.
Yeah.
He's 2. And Morgan, newborn, she's 3.5 months.
Yeah. Do you spank your kids?
Yes. Most of the time, I don't have to spank them. I think it's just my voice and the stare that I give them. They know that it says, hey, I think it's time to cool down, because if we don't, Dad's going to beat the out of us. Mm-hmm. So I can give them a look, or I could just whip my belt off, and they're like, I think it's time to cool down.
Yeah. You encountered, tell them the story, you encountered a group of rednecks came into, I assume these were white guys in the old car, story you tell in here? Didn't
Yes.
They? And they called you a nigger, didn't they?
No, what they did was, this is when in '86, I was playing AA ball in Memphis.
Oh, this is a different story, but go ahead. I'm talking about the childhood story.
Oh, I got you now. Yes, I was in the 5th or 6th grade, and everybody walked home from school. My house was about 1.5 miles from the school. I had to walk through the neighborhood, go through the woods, cross like a 20-foot ditch, and go up to get into the black neighborhood. And that was the path that everybody took home. And one day, I was going to beat this guy up named Michael Cox.
Another day in the life of Little Bo.
Yeah, I was going to beat him up after school. And the principal always walked with the kids down to the crosswalk to where we crossed the road.
What was it, Cox? What was the grievance here? Do you remember why?
I really don't know.
I'm sure you don't. All right.
I don't know, but...
That's very telling. Go ahead.
He was walking beside the principal.
Yeah.
He was walking on one side of the principal. I was walking on the other side of the principal to make sure that he didn't get away. And he told the principal, Mr. Hobson, Vincent's going to beat me up when we get down here and cross the street. So the principal looked at me, and he used to call me Boot. He said, Boot, what are you going to do to Michael? I said, I'm going to whoop his butt because he did something to me in class. Because the 5th and 6th graders were in the same class. That's how small the school was. And he said, no, you aren't going to do that. And he said, well, I want you to walk back up to school with me and let everybody else go home.
Yeah.
So he kept me for about 15, 20 minutes. And then when he let me out, I just walked home. And I was going up the street. And I was about 50 yards from the woods where I had to go. And this car passed. I guess it was some high school kids just getting out of school.
Excuse me. My house was on one side of the woods in the black neighborhood, and the school was on the other in a white neighborhood. I started walking toward the woods, and some high school kids came driving down the road in a blue Mustang. I'll never forget it. I guess they saw me and aimed the car at me and got to within 10 yards of me and then skidded and stopped and jumped out and started yelling at me. Come here, nigger, they hollered. We're going to kick your ass. For no reason at all. I didn't even know these guys. We're going to get you, nigger, they said. We're going to get you. You're how old?
11.
And you took off?
Yes.
Okay, tell them what happened.
They chased me through the woods, and I just run them around through the woods. They couldn't they couldn't catch me, so I wasn't worried just about that. And once I got to the ditch where we usually go down and cross, I leaped over the ditch, went up to the top of the hill, and I saw them down in the ditch. I turned around and started throwing rocks at them. And they turned around and went back up through the woods. And I went home. But I never saw those guys again. So, I don't know. It just could have been some guys that's just...
You were lightning then, though. I mean, you're...
Yes. I could hold my own at whatever I did.
There wasn't anybody in Bessemer, Alabama could beat you, was there?
No. There was one kid I tried to beat up in the 7th grade, and he was in the 9th grade. He was twice my size, and he punched me in the nose twice. He knocked me out, and I vowed that I would always get him back if I ever run across him.
And have you?
I haven't seen him since then.
Now, Now you wait. You're 16 years old. 16 years old. This is what you're telling your readers of your autobiography. And should we guess the title, Bo Knows Bo? What would you call Bo's autobiography? Your mother has a, what is it, a whip?
An extension cord.
An extension cord in one hand. You're 16 years old.
Yes.
And a .38 pistol in the other. Is that right?
Yes.
And where's she hit you with it?
Well, she figured at this point in time that I was either gonna take the extension cord from her or I was just gonna run and not let her spank me.
And if you ran, she was gonna...
She had something to catch me, which was a .38. So I stood there and I took my spanking.
And you know why your mother did this.
Yes.
She was scared to death. Did you not have an older brother in jail at the time?
I had my oldest brother. My mom had to send him to a reform school because he was one of the best dressed kids in the neighborhood. And he would walk off every morning like he was going to catch the bus to go to school. And then my mom would pass down the street two blocks from the house, and he would be down on the corner with some of his hoodlum friends shooting dice or just shooting hooky from school, and he'd never go to school.
And you tell your readers in your book that he spent, in reform school, he had to worry about being raped by other guys.
Yes, he said for the first 2 weeks in reform school, said he don't think he slept for over 20 hours because of the older guys there that would try to come in his place and try to rape him.
When you're 16 years old and your mother's holding a gun on you and an extension cord, this was an act of love for her. She thought her little boy Vincent was going to this place.
Yes, and I thought I was going there too, or even worse than that, go to prison. And I didn't straighten up until after I had a confrontation with the school coaches. And they got me out on the baseball field, the track, the football field, and I rerouted all that anger to the playing field. And I guess that's why I'm here this afternoon talking to you.
Yeah. Does this rage ever resurface? Does it ever scare you? I mean, this is a very impressive thing. You are a drug-free professional athlete in 2 sports. You are a married once guy with 3 kids whom you love very much. You've got a nice Valentine of an article in the New York Times here a couple of days ago. You are perhaps the single most successful professional athlete in terms of commercial endorsements today. What happened to the kid with the ball bat?
Oh.
I mean, is it all over now? Because if it is, boy, you ought to be lecturing some of these guys out here. I mean, there are people out there beating up girlfriends and boyfriends, and there's a lot of violence out there, and you apparently fixed it.
True. No one could fix my problems but me. And I knew as I got of age that if I did some of the stupid things that I did when I was younger, I could get sent up the creek for it. And I just told myself, look, it's time to straighten up or you're going to be down in the big house. And your life is going to be all downhill from there. And plus, I didn't want to stay in the same neighborhood where I was born and raised because all of the older guys in the neighborhood, they're just there. Old furniture. They're just there in the neighborhood doing nothing. And I didn't want that type of life for myself. And I always told my mother, I said, I want to go to college. I want to do something. And at the time, my goals were to go to college and be an electrical engineer, graduate, go to the military, and learn how to fly jets.
And all of a sudden...
And all of a sudden, the college recruit letters start coming in from all over the country. Coaches come into high school to look at me play football, play baseball, run track. And I didn't know anything about big name colleges or big name sports. And lo and behold, I got an all expense paid scholarship to go to Auburn for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. What is your 440 time? I mean, do you know? I mean, you remember?
My forte is anything 200 yards or less.
Under.
Yes.
How about your 40 yard?
I have recorded my junior year in college, I think. My junior or senior year in college, I recorded the fastest 40 that's ever been run without blocks, which was a 4.13 electronically. So,
yeah. I'll tell you what, Brian, just before we break here, we want to see cut 11 first. Let me just show them that first. You wanted to play with the 49ers.
yes,
The Raiders were your second choice.
yes.
What was your first choice baseball?
My first choice, baseball. I really didn't have a first choice. I just wanted to play professional ball.
And you chose baseball first over
I chose,
without any notion you were going to play both sports.
No. I chose baseball.
And surprised a lot of people doing that. Go ahead.
I chose baseball because I was drafted in the first round in '86 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I didn't want to play for Hugh Culverhouse. Bottom line, I didn't want to play for him.
Mm-hmm. You have no surgery on your knees. Your knees are sound. Is that so?
Yes.
You say yes, like maybe they aren't.
They are sound. And when I said yes, I was like, yes, they're sound thanks to the man upstairs.
Yeah. You got a 3-inch scar on your shoulder, do you?
Yes.
Which shoulder? Right shoulder?
Right shoulder.
Yeah. Because?
Because of Jerry Gray, who's with the L.A. Rams. That's because if he hadn't have run me down from behind, I would have never got this.
You pulled your back?
No, at the time I was playing with a busted ankle, and I was out trying to play with that, and he caught me from behind and fell on the turf in Texas, which is just green concrete, and I separated my shoulder.
But you say it's sounder now than it was before.
Yes,
I can swing the bat without, you don't feel it?
No.
You don't?
Haven't had any problems.
Let me just show these folks here. Here's Bo at work, scoring a touchdown. What else would I do for you here? Show you having a good time here. Show them, Brian, you'll be able to see it over here. Here you are from ground level. Here he comes. Nice. Watch your shoulder now. Be careful. Well, look at the face mask. Careful there. All right.
And
no
they
flag?
never called that.
No flag.
Hell no.
All right. We'll make some calls. And the heartbreak game. Gosh, that's a long walk back. You know, at least 7 out of 10 times at bat, you fail. The best guys do.
Yes.
It's a long walk back to the dugout.
I'm used to it.
You ready with number 12? No. It's the next cut. Your teammate, George Brett, thinks a lot of you, and you make the point that Brett was one of the most enthusiastic people to welcome you when you joined the team.
Yes. When I joined the Royals, there were a few people, I wouldn't say jealous or whatever, but everybody had their own speculations of this kid who turned down a lucrative football contract just because he didn't want to play for this certain team to opt to play baseball, which everybody thought everybody thought that was a ploy to get more money, but it wasn't.
You really wanted to do this?
Yes, I knew I could play football. I knew I could play football on the professional level.
You were less certain about baseball?
I had my doubts.
You had your doubts about the splitter and all the stuff that they throw today.
I just had my doubts about the major leagues all by itself. Just wasn't the pitching. And there were some things said, but once my teammates got to know me and we played together, everything smoothed out. I am not the type of person that blows off of the handle because someone criticizes me. What I do is I use that criticism as fuel for my fire. And I love to prove people wrong.
Well, you certainly are proving it. Look at this. Here's Bo at work in Kansas City. Against which football team he played yesterday? Is this a crazy life this man lives? Bo knows baseball. Here it is. Let's just take a look here. Watch this. George Brett makes the point that you hit a ball to the opposite field. You've hit the waterfall.
Don't show that.
There you go. There you go. Look who's meeting you first. There's Brett. Look at this. Very, very nice to see this kind of... The book is titled Bo Knows Bo. Do you talk to your father today?
Yes. I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to my father in about 4 months.
When you go in there, it's nice.
Yes. Whenever I'm home visiting my mother, I always get the kids and my wife, take them over so he can see his grandkids.
Yeah.
We sit down and talk. And it's always so emotional for he and myself because we haven't seen each other in a long time. And I know when he's out with his buddies, they are saying, well, did you see Bo do this? Or did you see Bo do that? Or have you talked to Bo? And I know it's hard for him, but my childhood days are over. I don't have any animosity toward him or his family because I hang out with his kids. We go out clubbing just as much as I do with my friends. Mm-hmm. And whenever I have the time, I take the kids over so we could see them, let them run around the house and so forth and so on.
Well, we're in Los Angeles, the home of Bo's football work, and we'll be back with Bo Jackson in just a moment.
I must be dreaming.
As we tape, the Raiders are 6-2 and certainly look to be a post-season participant in playoffs. And my luck and his luck, with friends like me, you don't need enemies. I'm going to show him your fumble in the last game in Kansas City. This guy, Cherry?
Duron Cherry.
Duron Cherry hits you. I mean, this was a pretty good stick, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
No.
All right,
yes.
let me show it. Here it is, and you know, this was the difference too. The Raiders lost by 2 points. So watch this. Watch this. Here comes the man. Watch this hit. Bang.
Kansas City. Albert Lewis had it popped right into his arms.
Look at this. Is that him?
Yes,
that's
that
Cherry.
little-
Yeah. Watch this slow-mo now. This is a clinic backfield tackle. Look at this.
Right into the ball. Right into the ball. And Dick, what we talked about.
Now you say it was a good hit and it wasn't, meaning it didn't hurt you, but he got the ball.
Yes, the hit was good enough to where he knocked the ball loose. And it helped by it being wet also, but I can't use that as an excuse. I coughed the ball up, which something that I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time that has happened to me.
You must have been a You must have been a bear on the bus.
No, not actually. I sat on the bus going back to the airport and I read a fishing magazine.
You're able to do this. I mean,
am
it's Kansas City. If there's any place you want to show them. Incidentally, you weren't booed yesterday, were you?
Yes, I was booed, but
You expect that?
yes, I let that roll off my back like
Boo because what? Boo, boo, boo.
Boo because I'm with the Raiders.
And they think you should be with the Chiefs.
The most hated football team by the people in Kansas City are the Raiders.
Really?
So,
and you're smiling about that.
Yeah.
Sells more tickets, huh? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Bo plays baseball, Bo plays football, but Bo is also acting these days. I saw you on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air a couple weeks ago. What are your aspirations with acting? Are you getting a lot of offers and that sort of thing?
right now, I'm happy with what I'm doing. Playing football, playing baseball, and my commercials. If somewhere down the line, the Lord bless me with the time to do more television, I would probably take it up. But right now, I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Is there a single more a successful 60-second commercial in the history of the universe? People are driving your wife crazy with this. People drive by your house if you're out, you know, in the front yard. You know, they yell, "Bo knows gardening." Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
I don't know who at Nike or who the agency dreamed this up. Let's take a look one more time. No kidding. This is television history. Watch this spot.
Bo knows baseball. Bo knows football. Bo knows basketball, too. Bo knows tennis?
Bo knows running.
No.
Bo knows cycling.
Bo knows weights.
Bo, you don't know diddly.
And Bo Diddley's getting more work now than he's ever. I mean, is that so? I mean, he's always been hot, but is it not true that he's this commercial?
Well, yes. I am not going to say it's because of the Nike spots, but I'm happy for him. It was a pleasure to do the commercial with him because he's a funny man, and he takes his music seriously.
He does. Always
Yes.
has, and is part of American popular musical history. Bo Jackson is joined by a teammate from both teams, both the Royals and the Raiders, when we come back in just a moment. Look who said this. I'm not jealous of Bo's ability or of all the attention he gets, even of his body. I'm a big dog myself, but I am jealous of him for two reasons. First, he doesn't have to go to training camp, which is vastly overrated, says this writer. And second, he doesn't have to spend 6 months a year at home. He and his wife have the greatest relationship in the world because he's never at home. 2 weeks after the football season ends, my wife wants to stab me. Here's Howie Long of the Los Angeles Raiders. All he did was hit very, very well for 17 seasons in Kansas City. Not the heartbeat of commercial endorsements, may we say. No offense to Kansas City, but the professional athlete will tell you, you know, you want to be in either coast. But I'll tell you what, he's going to brag forever about a magnificent baseball career, which incidentally is not over. The second baseman for the Kansas City Royals, now a free agent after 17 years with the team. Here's Bo's teammate in Kansas City, Frank White, right here. Here's a guy who couldn't hit the inside of a telephone booth with the door shut. Dick Schaap, television correspondent for ABC News and host of ESPN's The Sports Reporters. He co-authors Bo Knows Bo. You got a book here, kid. You got a book here. You should be very proud of this. Wow. This Vincent Jackson, Bowhog. They called you Bowhog because...
In the South.
That was what, a big, tough...
Yes, a wild boar.
Yeah.
But Southern people, they don't say boar. It's a bowhog.
Yeah.
So.
Howie, when he first showed up, you had to say, I mean, didn't some of the guys say, well, here comes Mr. Hot Dog?
No, be quiet. I'll tell you exactly what they said. I'll tell you exactly what they said. And one of the comments, well, there are two that stand out in my mind. I got to the practice facility, and I went straight to the equipment room. And I'm back there trying on shoulder pads, and someone passes by and says, "Attention, Flight 34 has just landed." Yes, that's my number, 34. So they said that, and I played it off. I get to the locker room, and I'm putting on my stuff. He or Bill Pickell, "Hey, the baseball player's here."
And that was... You impressed with this guy?
I think it's hard not to be impressed. I think in a day and age of the overblown athlete, the paper All-American, if you would, this guy's for real. I don't know much about baseball. I never played it growing up. I didn't play football growing up either, but I've had a little experience since then. He's the real deal. Anyone who can walk in off the street and do what he does.
Yeah. What is it now, the real deal? Is it about balance? He's certainly got the gift. He is some physical specimen. But there's a lot of guys like this that fall down.
No, there aren't a lot of guys like that, trust me. There are a lot of physical specimens.
That's what I mean.
But the rare combination of size, speed, coordination, he's built very low to the ground. He's not a long-legged guy. A lot like myself, leverage is a very important aspect of football. And Bo has great leverage. The guy that tackled him from Kansas City, it was a, you said it was a good hit, it was a pummeling. Sure, it was a great hit. Bo just thrashed him. He just happened to have hit the ball on the way down, this way.
Yeah.
So I wanted to.
Incidentally, that would have been an illegal tackle in high school. Can you spear? That was a spear.
There's a lot of things that are illegal.
Yeah, well, all right. That's another show. You really admire this guy's baseball skills.
Yes. I wish I had all.
Did he help you at all?
Frank and George are the two leaders on the team. And my first year there, if I ever wanted to know something, which were the do's and the don'ts around the team, I'd either ask Frank or I'd ask George. So he was like, not trying to cut you down, Hammer, call him Hammer. He and George are like the father figures to keep all the young guys straight.
I'm sure he's not offended. Well, 17 years, pro. Huh? And you're up now, you're out on the free agency market, huh? So
Yep,
whether or
I'm
not
just-
you play ball is going to depend on some guy in a suit behind the plastic shield upstairs in the box. True?
Well, I think whether or not I play or not is going to be mainly whether they can whether they believe I can still play or not. But that's what being a free agent's all about.
Uh-huh. It's been a good 17 years?
Super.
Yeah. I don't, you know, he's got Hanes, he's got Nike. Frank, 17 years. It's true, isn't it? I mean, there are just some markets where you're not going to burn the town down with endorsements.
It's been a great career, and I've accomplished quite a bit. I've accomplished every individual goal that I've ever set out to accomplish, but we've always said in sports that if you're going to have a great day or a great career, it's either got to be New York or L.A., and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Can he hit the cutoff man, this guy Jackson?
Well, very seldom. I'm the guy. I'm usually the trailing guy, and if the way Bo throws the ball,
He doesn't need to.
he doesn't use us a lot sometimes, but because he's hitting left field, he's close enough in most parks that he can do that. But when he decides to hit the cutoff man, you just have to make sure that you don't get out too close, and you got to realize how hard he throws the ball, and you just got to make sure that you don't get too close to him. Because
Brother Schaap, You got yourself the Bessemer. You better. You did your homework. You did your street work, and you saw the... You must... I mean, you must have been impressed yourself with the kind of story you were waiting in to hear.
Well, I was not only impressed by Bo, and I was not only intimidated by Bo, I was even intimidated by his mother. I went down to Bessemer, I met his mother, and I figured she could run over me, too. So I was going to be very careful the way I worked.
And obviously they must be very proud of this guy. I mean, I assume we're going to have streets named after him pretty soon.
Yeah, well, they already have the street down there in Bessemer. They probably have one in L.A. soon. But they are very proud.
We're in Los Angeles with Bo Jackson and friends, and we'll be back in just a minute. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Bo. I think you're great. I was just wondering if you were planning on continuing both sports.
I'll have to drop one day, but whenever that time comes, I'll announce it to the world. But right now, I'm having too much fun.
Yeah. You tell the readers of the book that Dick co-authored that you can't play basketball.
I think I'm the only black guy in America can't play basketball.
In the pros, baseball runs into football season, and in college, football runs into baseball. Would you prefer to play a football season entirely?
That would be nice, but I can't.
You couldn't.
I have to join the Raiders whenever baseball season is over.
Yeah, you couldn't very well leave the Royals in the middle of, for example, a pennant stretch to go.
No.
I get it.
Yes, Bo, I would like to ask you, between preparing for baseball and football, does it put much stress on you?
No, I think a person with stress and pressure, the way that I handle that is that I don't put stress or pressure on myself. I just do what I can. I don't try to do too much in one day. I do what my body will allow me to do, and that's it.
I want to show him Howie at work. Show him this, well, here he comes, you know. He may be getting old and a little creaky, and, but you don't want to try and run around this guy, and if you're a quarterback, you got to watch the blitz. Watch this. Here he comes. Look at this. Watch out. Howie, get him. Boom. You'll see that in slow-mo. Hey, you're still working well there, number 75. This, I believe, is yesterday's game. So, show it in slow-mo. I feel like the guy in the booth here, waiting for the, here you come. You enjoy this?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Is it a lot of fun, Howie? How's it? Now, how many years are you up? You like that? Are you a 10-year guy?
Yeah, I'm a 10-year guy.
10-year guy.
I broke in the league when I was 20. I'm 30 now.
And how are your knees?
I've had 2 scopes on the knee.
You don't have any water or does it hurt when it rains or anything like that?
Everything hurts when it rains.
Yes.
Especially when it's 25 degrees. Like
yeah. Well, is this about it, Pro? I mean, 10 and out of here, or what?
No, I'm going to play a couple more and drop 20 or 30 pounds and go do something else.
Have we got Phil? Well, we'll show that in just a moment. Yes. Yes.
Yes, I'd like to know any or all opinions on women reporters in the locker room.
Very good.
Whose opinion you want, my wife's or mine? I've never noticed it.
It's never been an issue for you, personally?
Never been an issue.
Right.
When we first started, it was interview rooms outside of the clubhouse, and once the court said they could do it, then all we asked for is just intelligent questions.
Yeah. I want to show him Frank at work. Talk about all he did was give 17 years to the the Kansas City Royals, and you were steady, boy. You worked for a living. Show him Frank at work. I just want to show off all you guys here.
Frank White, Kansas City helped the Royals beat the
Look at
Orioles
this, out of here.
2-run homer.
This is this year. You're still putting them away. Look at this sweet swing. Look at that. Stays down on it. Oh, and we'll be back with these group of very talented professional athletes in just a moment. Tell you what, Jose Pretlow, who produced our show, asked the kids at Robert Stevenson Elementary School I want to meet Bo Jackson because we got some winners.
Here, listen to this. I want to meet Bo Jackson because he's a famous person. I've never met a famous person before. He's also a great baseball player and a great football player. I've never seen a person that plays two sports. I like the Raiders football team. Hey, Kevin, we got your number. Come on in here. Kevin Newen. There you go. Say hello to Bo.
There you go, man. How old are you? You're 7? And that's a great I got something for you.
You got to come to me, Brian. I'd like to meet Bo Jackson because he's a very good football and baseball player. He's on the Raiders and Royals. My friend has a Bo Jackson baseball card. Here is Cameron Avery. Hey, Cameron. All right, very good. You got your ball there, Cameron. How old are you?
God, the poor kid is scared to death.
I'd like to meet Bo Jackson because he can teach me to play baseball. He is good at baseball and football. He's a famous player. I have a lot of his cards. I read about him in the paper. Here's Ashley Morris.
You're cute. That's a nice article. Do you want to have a picture?
From Robert Stevenson Elementary School here in L.A., and we have one young man who didn't get a chance to participate in the contest, but it came to our attention. This is no gag. The guy idolizes you, Bo, wants to meet you. He's in the 5th grade from 112th Street School in L.A. Here's Johnny Bailey. Right here.
What's up, man? What's up, John? Looking good, man. So, you're a fan?
All right,
Are you?
we got to get some of these. Yes.
Bo, any comments with regards to the current NCAA guidelines as to whether it's fair economically to existing college athletic players?
Excuse me, what was the question again?